Okay, we're back and we're here with the executive, and this is actually not executive decision because we want to talk about you being the, I guess, the assumed queen of White Comico.
Yeah.
Have you got your crown yet, your tiara yet?
Oh, yeah, well, I've had it's on order right now, so, yeah.
So, how did we get here?
I don't know. So, of course we hear about the No Kings movement, which is absolutely insane because, of course they're talking about Donald Trump. And I guess they decided that they were going to do a spin-off of that and make it No Queens. So I actually find it quite amusing. And actually, if you want to compare me to Donald Trump, I'm totally okay with that. So if he's the No King and I'm the No Queen, so be it. You know what I mean? I'm happy with his policies. Most people, want to sit there and say, well, I don't like, that she's a Republican and she's that. Yeah, but you know what? You like that I lowered your taxes. You like that we, provide, that we've done record investment in public safety and education, and we're paving roads and building schools. So you know what? It's results over rhetoric. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if I'm jealous or shocked at the fact that these people have enough time on their hands to do this. It's crazy.
No, is there an authority line on this?
Oh, yeah. So I think that a lot of people, just so everybody understands, when you are doing a campaign, and that can be a campaign for yourself, or you're doing a campaign for a ballot initiative, or you're doing something against somebody, you have to have an authority line. There has to be some sort of organization behind this. And these signs that are littered all over the county, of course, most of them have been picked up at this point in time, don't have an authority line, and they're placed illegally. So you can't just stick signs any which way, any place. And so it's just kind of interesting that they have just wasted their time driving around and, putting these signs out. So
yeah,
with no authority line.
Well, I can say that some of them have. I've definitely talked to different owners who have said that these signs have just been showing up on their property and things like that. It's kind of interesting, but it seems like whoever it is has to have some money, because that's like, as far as the picture, it seems like they really spent time finding the right picture. And have you felt like this has affected your campaign, and if so, in a good or bad way?
No, I don't think it's affected me at all. I mean, you go to the website and it's like all the terrible things that Giordano has done. And I want to explain to these people, the people in this world that actually work and actually have lives and families, they may go visit the website one time and then it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. They don't have time to sit there and visit this site time and time and time again. It's so ridiculous that they think that this is how it's going to happen. And it's just a place where, they're storing all this stuff. But I will tell you, not only does that not have an authority line, the website also doesn't have an authority line, and it may have violated state law. So we have a bunch of things that are kind of in the works where they think they're cute and they think they're funny and that they're going to hurt me. But at the end of the day, the people that are tying themselves to this are really, just kind of getting themselves into a world of issues here. Because it's not just something that can be let go, because not only does the state board of elections know, our local board of elections know, and attorneys are writing letters to state prosecutors to look at that website because of the things that they're putting on there. So while we have freedom of speech, you do have a limitation of certain things, and there have been bills that have been passed for that exact thing to not be able to happen. So I think that they need to really do their research, and if anybody, especially if they're elected officials or running for office, are tying themselves to that nonsense, I think it's going to hurt them more than help them. This does not hurt me. Like, if they think this hurts me, you want to tie me to Donald Trump, a man who literally won this county in 2016. He won the county in 2020, even though the election didn't go our way, but he won this county. He won it in 2024, so you want to tie me to Donald Trump? Go ahead. That's fine. I'll take that all day.
Well, when they're saying the thing about him being a king, I mean, and again, I don't agree when they say that either, but they say it because I think Congress pretty much always kind of, what he puts forth, they kind of go with for the most part. You don't have that with your with your council.
Not at all. Well, that's why I said I think it's just a play. I think that everyone is aware of the No Kings, and so this is just the No Queens. But what's so funny about this is that people would think that this is the Democrats, right? This is the Democrats doing this and whatever. And there may be a few, but it's really not. I've talked to the Democratic State Party. They have nothing to do with it. they, like, it's actually kind of crazy. So this is just a small group of individuals, and you talked about the cost. I have a feeling, and you and I both know a person who owns a printing company that I'm pretty sure is printing these signs for free. So, you know, and I'm going to guess, you know, there was some flyers that were put out for Question A, same person did that. If I had to guess, and this is all assumption, I'm not making any accusations,
Sure.
my assumption is that that same person is printing these signs for free. So,
Interesting. And I mean, but why?
you know what, I really don't know.
I mean, they started showing up. Maybe they were out before you left to go to Scotland, but my
didn't
wife
see 'em.
was really upset about the fact they said they wait till my girl leaves the country.
Yeah, I had to leave the country for them to do it. And, you know, it's kind of funny. My favorite part is that one in particular that we know is involved is going around telling people, oh no, I'm not involved with it. I don't like her, but I'm not involved. Bro, we have the receipts. Like, people saw you putting the signs out. We have a picture of one of them putting the sign out. You've seen that photo.
I've seen that
like,
picture.
you are on camera. You are on camera, sir, like, doing it. So don't sit there and lie to people and say, I'm not a part. Just own it. Own it that you're a part of it. But see, they don't want to because they know they're going to be fined. Because every single one of those signs that was put out is going to accrue a fine because of not having an authority line. And nobody's going to claim that website. So now they have just created, you know, spending more to people, wasting taxpayer money once again, because now our roads department has to go out and pick up the litter.
And so does the city.
And so does the city.
So does the city.
Yep, now they're
and,
going out.
and my goodness, it, like they're strapped for money as it is. Now, and I'm not that smart or anything, but this website, you can't find out who actually developed it?
Well, actually, yes, we'll be able to find out, but it's through, people think that their stuff is anonymous because they use like DuckDuckGo, which is something that sort of blocks, you know, for somebody who's like in IT, like at that first layer, like, yeah, like they probably wouldn't be able to figure out who that is. But like when the state prosecutor is involved and state law is violated, I'm going to tell you they have IT people to figure it out. And when you sign up through things through DuckDuckGo, you have an account with them. So it's going to be tied to that person. And I am telling you, I will promise you, any person that is tied to that, if we find out they violated state law, I am telling you they're going to be prosecuted. I am promising it right now that they will be prosecuted. And you know, it gets to the point where like, you have to say enough is enough. You know what I mean? Like, enough is enough. Like, you've had your fun, like whatever else. Just, you know, my thing is that just challenge me on policy. Challenge me on the things that we've done. And you know why they can't? Because there's nothing to argue. I'm still waiting for Mr. Davis to tell me exactly what he's going to run on right now.
Well, actually, since you said that name, that's funny. But I actually want to say, because I know there was a Facebook post that you put out, and you actually called out Mr. Davis on this, and you also called out another young man,
Mr. Venosa, yes.
Mr. Venosa, and has either one of them responded to you?
Absolutely not. What I told Mr. and the only reason, I personally don't think that Mr. Davis's campaign has anything to do with that. I truly believe that. However, people have reached out to him asking him about signs, and he's responding like, oh, I'll figure out where to get them. Ernie, don't tie yourself to this nonsense, because he doesn't run on that. Ernie, look, at the end of the day, is not a vindictive, nasty person. He never has been.
He's pretty laid back.
Right, he is laid back, and the fact that he wants to even be tied up. The other one, though, has been seen putting out the signs. And so at the end of the day, literally I got a text in Scotland, like, somebody saw him, and that person has filed the complaint with the Board of Elections. So they are tied to it. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, again, I'm really hoping that the circus can be set off to the side, and most people see through it, you know, and that the circus can be set aside, and let's look at what was accomplished when Ernie Davis was the vice president of the council, and what has been accomplished as me as executive. And let's look and see that, you know what I mean? Ernie, as vice president of the council, the DAF tank was put out there. No extra money went to education. Deputies were making $45,000 a year. We were losing people left and right. So, and then here we come, you know, here we are. No movement on water and sewer with anything while he was on council. And here we are moving forward on water and sewer. Deputies are up to $70,000 starting. We now have done record investment in education. Again, paving roads, building schools. And, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, I feel pretty good about my record. So if people are smart and they look at the results over the rhetoric, I don't think that there's a comparison. You know, and I'm still, again, waiting for his platform. The last time I checked, he wanted to extend the runway, which is like that's going to be completed. And there was something else that he talked about. Oh, something about not privatizing the nursing home. I don't even know where that came from. We're not privatizing the nursing home. We got a new director right now who wants to change some things up. But other than that, has nothing to do with privatizing. So I don't really know what he's running on, so it makes it a little bit difficult to sort of counter, you know, like he's doing this and I'm doing this, so I'm just sort of waiting.
So he hasn't denounced being a part of this?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. I think that he would be wise to, because I think it's just, it would hurt him more than help him, but you know, what do I care? You know, I mean, if he wants to be tied to that nonsense, go ahead.
So what you're telling me, as county queen, you have increased the deputies to CQ.
Yeah.
You have increased the deputy salary to 71,000.
70.
Let me see. You started working on septic. How's the internet going on the west side?
Oh, good. I mean, you know, we have 3 different companies now working on it. You know, we've covered so much on broadband. You know, and again, but it's investing the money back into the community. You know, just before we met, we were talking to the West Side Alliance. You know, we moved up the roof replacement. The roof is leaking, and we moved it up because it was on the CIP. You know, for 3 years, and you know, down the road. No, it has to be done now. You see the changes at the Civic Center. We have a new CAC building. You see that we bought a new building for the health department. We're still moving in that direction. So you see the changes that are happening in this county, and they're for the good. You know, and so again, if you set aside the circus that is created by these chaos coordinators, and you really look at what we've done, every year we've lowered your property taxes. Every year. Every year since I've been in office, we have the lowest property tax rate in the state of Maryland. And I have $98 million still in the bank. So we know what we're doing.
And when you came in, how much was in there?
Gosh, it was 60s, 70s. So, and we've been able to invest $30 million a year in that. We've raised our bond rating. The state of Maryland had a decrease in bond rating, and we went up, you know, as the county. So we have done really great things, you know, while we've been in office. And I wish people would just focus on that. And I think the majority of people do. They do. They you know, they're not getting caught up in the nonsense. You know what I mean? And this created narrative, you know? And if these people, look, if I live rent-free in these people's heads to you know, use their resources to print signs and use their manpower to put the signs out.
I mean, they're everywhere. Like, we were just talking to the young man that's down from the west side. He's like, oh, is that what that is? I've seen it all the way down there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they put them everywhere. I mean, as our roads crews are going around, you know, they are picking them up because they're illegally placed. They really can't find a lot of private citizens that are willing to put them in their yard. But, you know, they're just sticking them anywhere. So again, that's the type of people that we really want in our county, you know, especially if one of them's running for office. They just illegally stick signs, no authority line, you know, not following campaign law, potentially violating state law. Those are the type of people we do not need in office, that we do not need any part of.
I still want to know where they got the picture from.
I know, I really like the photo. From a distance, though, it looks like I'm doing this, even though, like, it looks like I'm doing this.
That's
like
what I thought you were
away.
doing, but it's actually, they got
yeah, it's like the thing. Like I said,
whoever
I
did
might,
it really put some
I know,
work to it.
I actually think it's a very pretty picture of me. So at least it didn't make me look like an ugly queen, but I might take it and make a t-shirt out of it. I think, I have a couple of signs that I am saving. I gotta save them, so.
So you got another, how many months before the election?
Oh gosh, we're in July, so we've got August, September, October, November, 4 months.
So within the last, what, 2 months, we've had photos. Now we're on the No Queen. So what are we going to do in the next couple of months?
Oh Lord, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure they'll creatively come up with something. I will say, some of the things that we have been doing we are really, not holding back, but we are very much limiting what we put over with the council meeting, because you know, a lot of that council is going out, so we don't want to start anything that's really going to continue on after December. So we're really trying to figure out, you know, how to, you know, very much ease into things. And if you look at the next council meeting, I mean, it's a very light agenda. Couple of appointments, you know, and whatever else. We're not doing a whole lot. because we don't need them to be in the middle of things and then have to change hands. So.
Well, it seems like, I'm not sure how many of them, but it seems like a lot of those people that were on council are moving over to try to be on the committee.
Yeah, well, I saw
the Central Committee.
Well, it was kind of funny because Mr. Cannon's going to be over there. Mr. Merritt, I think he made it on there. Mr. White, who's running for office, those
and
three.
Mr. Ennis?
And Mr. Ennis, yeah. So those four are now over on the Central Committee. And if they're going to work and raise money for Republicans, and I don't know if they were confused as to what the Central Committee does, but there's four of them. The majority still, is with the other group, so I'm not really sure. But my favorite part is one of these No Queens people, 17th place out of 18 for the Central Committee. It couldn't have been any better. Like, you know what I mean? He puts his name out there, 17th out of 18. So, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes to show that people are not going to deal with that nonsense. You know what I mean? And so I honestly think the best thing Mr. White did was remove himself from that. You don't see him on Open Agenda too much. I know he'll still make a cameo here
he's the executive director.
Yeah. But, he removed himself from that. And he claims that he's his own man. I think he still has, some dealings with him. But, look, at the end of the day, he did sort of remove himself, and I think that helped him in the election.
Right. I'm looking forward to some of these forums coming up.
Yeah. I think I'll have one, with Ernie, so I'll be really interested.
At least one. I'm working on one on the west side with you and Ernie.
Oh, yeah. No, I will be more than welcome or more than willing to do it. Again, it's really difficult to try to, typically when you run a campaign, you look at what the person has done or whatever else, and you try to see, okay, like this is what I would do differently, or this is what I plan to do. And I've yet to see that. So it's just kind of like I'm sort of waiting for him to come forward and say, okay, this is what I stand on. It's just, there's not really much at this point.
If I can remember back years ago when he ran the last time, he ran on countywide fire service.
Right.
With everything going with collective bargaining, I can see him maybe touching on that. Again, I'm not.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we're looking into. It's not an easy task. People are like, oh, you need to fix the fire service agreement like that. First of all, we have 11 fire companies, 11 volunteer fire companies, all with their own personalities, all with their own territories. And then we've got the city of Salisbury, too. So there's a lot of chiefs. Literally, a lot of chiefs that you have to work through. And so you have to be conscientious about what each person is bringing to the table and what their concerns are. For the first time in a long time, we have, the majority of the chiefs saying, okay, the way that we do the funding source might not be the best way. Maybe not everybody deserves an equal amount, because that's how we've been doing it. So maybe it should be a price per call where we do a base amount, and so those are the things that we're working through, but these things don't happen overnight. I think people think, oh, well, she doesn't have an answer yet. Well, I don't have an answer yet because first and foremost, we did the SWOT analysis. The next step of the SWOT analysis was to hire an EMS coordinator. They cut that. The council cut the EMS coordinator. So step 2, they've already cut us off at the knees.
If you were a good queen, you'd override that.
Right. So now it's like, now we have to work around not having this EMS coordinator and having our director of emergency services and deputy director fill that role. Well, there was a reason that person was put into place to do the analysis of where we need to go. So now we have Lorenzo and Tim, who's our deputy and deputy director, working overtime trying to do their job, plus do this as well. So it's very difficult. So there's a reason why those steps were put into place. And it is a shame that part, did get cut. So when you cut us off at step 2, we got to work around it. And
January's coming.
Yes, January is coming. So.
Well, look, I'm going to let you go. Again, you keep being the county queen and do a good job at it, and the empire will be satisfied.
Yeah, right, exactly. And, again, at the end of the day, it's a play on words with Donald Trump. And so if they want to compare me to Donald Trump, I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, he called you Sandra Bullock.
He did. When my hair was longer, he did.
Yeah, so, everybody's got something to say.
Yeah, so, but it is what it is. But, I think a lot of people didn't even understand the signs. Like, they saw them, and of course, it's,
Like, literally, the guy a while ago said, that what that meant?
Yeah, like, people don't even understand it. Like, they're not taking time to go to that website.
Actually, I got to say this. The people that I have spoken to that actually have seen it, like, fine, I'm going to look it up. They came back and said it's really generic. They said the people they've never seen in this area before. They said it really was poorly done, not really good cartoons. But then you'll get some people saying it was perfectly done.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, look, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And so those people who really don't like me, especially maybe on the opposite political party, they may think this is awesome. This is so great and we're doing this. And they may check it every day. But I'm going to tell you, the majority of the 103,000 people do not have time to sit there and go to the No Queens website, or whatever. So.
Well, the National Enquirer did sell a lot of copies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm internationally famous, for, whatever, But like I said, it is what it is. If this makes them feel better about themselves, fine.
At least they're not bothering somebody else.
But that's true. They can continuously bother me, it is what it is. But again, to put this much time and effort, it does sort of, I'm like, this is like almost borderline psychotic. And I sit there and think, am I right? Thank goodness I have a concealed carry, because I'm like, am I safe? I need to make sure I'm safe from these people, you know what I mean? Because they're kind of crazy. I have never, and you know what, look, there are people who I dislike, don't get me wrong, but I have never had enough time or energy. My time is so much more valuable than that. And forget executive time. Time with Jack, my son, or time, doing things that I like to do, that is so much more important than trying to figure out ways of being nefarious, and I'm going to we're going to do this to her and do that to her. If that's how you want to spend your life, wow, sir, wow. Okay, by all means, go ahead, so. But I will say this, and for people who are seeing this, there's more than just those who are involved, just those couple people that we mentioned. I think it would make your head spin to know exactly who's involved behind this. And it's really sad to me. It's really sad that these people have tied themselves to such vile individuals. But, be that as it may, but all will reveal itself in due time. And so I think...
There's scripture for that.
Oh, yeah. All shall reveal itself. And so, I think my biggest concern, and I know that we have to wrap up, but I think my biggest concern is, there's always this, thing in the political world of the October surprise. God knows what they'll come up with.
I told you got a couple more months.
I know, some sort of AI situation or something like this, but they just, again, I would just warn that there's a time where you end up crossing the line, and when you start breaking laws and doing things that are just really not kosher and that could get people literally prosecuted, it's probably time to rethink what you're doing. You know what I mean? And if your whole goal is to try to get rid of me, the scandals and all these things, most people don't care. They're like, we're still voting for you. This is insane that they're doing this. There's no proof of any of this. But even if there was, they're still we don't care. So it's I just don't understand why they think that this is some sort of smoking gun. Again, what people care about is, are my taxes lower? Are you trying to make things more affordable? Is my road being paved? Are we getting a new school? Are teachers being funded? Are deputies being funded? That's what they care about. They want to see, their tax dollars at work. And there is no argument there that I would put what we have invested in our community against anybody. Anybody across the state, I would put it and say, we are leading. Look, you know how much I don't like cannabis. I don't like cannabis being legalized, but it is what it is. We're getting tax dollars. We are leading the state in putting those tax dollars right back into the community.
Wow.
So I would put my reputation when it comes to policy and the things that we've done for this county against anybody. And so that's what I think has to be reiterated here. All this noise and pictures and websites and signs and all that, it means nothing. It means nothing. Look at what we've done and what we're going to continue to do, because we are in a great financial place. And I will tell you, if the wrong people get on council, or if the wrong person is elected as executive, I have a feeling this county is going to be stagnant, or it's going to go backwards. And we can't have that happen. And so I hope people, again, if you sat home during the primary, you need to get out and vote in November.
So 4 years from now, you're thinking about staying in the political realm and not executive. Is this kind of stuff deterring you? Maybe not?
Well, I will tell you, there was always this question up in the air of what I wanted to do afterwards. I will tell you 100% I will not be running for executive again. So this will be my last term. I will turn
91%.
No, I would probably say 100%. 100%. I don't see myself being the executive any longer, for various reasons. I'm not sure, like, if I even want to stay in Wicomico County, and not necessarily that I want to go far away, but you know, being executive, you have to live here. So there might be some other places. Jack is going to be in his second year in college. God knows what that's going to do, you know, at that point. So there's a lot of things that, you know, sort of keep you tied here, which is great. You know, you need to be here as the executive. But in 4 years, you know, I think that my outlook might be a little bit different. I'll be able to retire at that point in time. So that aspect, the executive role, will be handed off to somebody else. I hope, you know, a really great person that wants to continue. As far as me considering, you know, continuing a political career, you know, I've toyed with the idea, but I really don't know. I really don't know. Stuff like this does, you know, sort of deter you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, it's not so much.
It gets old.
Well, it does, but it affects your family.
Yeah.
It affects my child, like, and just nobody even seems to care about that. And some of these people that are tied to this, they have known me and my family for years and are doing that to Jack. And that's just the part that's unforgivable. And so, like I said, a lot of you don't know, but there are people involved in this that it would make your head spin to know it. And like I said, it will all reveal itself. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm going to keep continuing doing the good work that we're doing.
Sure.
We're going to keep pushing forward, hopefully re-elected in November, and I'm going to give everybody everything that I have for the next 4 years. And then after that, we'll see.
Thank you there, Queen Giordano. County Executive Giordano.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, this has been Bridging the Gap. We talk to you